have just finished The Great BBL, also known as The Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. And I really, really enjoyed this. I listened to it over the weekend while I was working, and it was a surprise of a book. I didn't really read anything about it. I think I read the blurb like ages ago, but I knew nothing about this book. So as I was listening to it, it was so fun. It was such a good book. I gave it 5 stars, even though I don't think people might not agree, but I really liked it. I really liked the mystery elements that it had, the autobiography feel to it, the story, the history. It was such a fun book. The book follows our main character Alice, who flies to her home state of Georgia because she just found out that a 80-year-old socialite back in the day who was all over the news has kind of disappeared, in a sense, made herself disappear, and she's actually living in this little island in Georgia. So she flies over there to interview, to be like, hey, I'm a writer, I want to write your autobiography, talk about your life, and give your side of the story. And when she gets there, she's feeling very happy because it's the breakthrough of her career. But she finds out she's not the only person who's contending for this. There's another guy as well called Hayden, and he is also he's quite well known. He won a Pulitzer Prize writing for his autobiography. So she's very nervous that she's going up against him, but she's given the chance to stay in Georgia for a month and essentially interview, get bits and pieces of her story, and then whoever has the best pitch, the writer, the woman Margaret, will pick who she wants to write her book. The book goes back and forth between Alice and her interviewing Margaret, as well as Margaret's history. Not only does she start from when she was born and when she was famous, it goes all the way back to her great-granddad, how they became rich and how they ended up buying all this newspaper and how her family came to be. So it was very interesting seeing that side. But we also get to see Alice growing in this island and her connection with Hayden and getting closer with Hayden. And it was very fun to see all of that. But there's also bits of mystery, and because Margaret's not telling the truth sometimes, she keeps evading certain stuff. So it's fun to see her piece together the bits and pieces of information, and the story gets along, and it's really, really interesting, especially when you sort of start clocking stuff as well, when you start to see the loopholes and start to see some stuff. It is such a fun book, because it doesn't just focus on the romance side, it has all these other bits and pieces to it. So I really, really enjoyed that. I don't tend to always just having just romance. There's always has to be more. It has such a really good emotional depth, because it goes through issues with the main character and her mother, issues within her loss of her father, all that kind of stuff. And it's such a nice book. It was such a surprise book for me, because I didn't expect that I was going to like it, because I think I've been seeing some people saying that they didn't like it or some stuff, but I really, really enjoyed it. It's I think one of my favorites. I think it's top 3 Emily Henry books that I've read so far. But yeah, I would 100%